So recently we were talking about the introduction for the Mesilat Yesharim. We talked about Yir'ah or Halicha B'drachav, walk in his path. We talked about love, and now we're talking about Shlemut Halev. Shlemut Halev is completion of the heart. Shlemut Halev is a tremendous level that we all lack in achieving, not only when in regards to Avodat Hashem, but also when in regards to everything else we do in our lives. We don't do our things with a full heart, with a complete heart. There's always a certain aspect of, maybe, I don't know, I shouldn't, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to Avodat Hashem, when it comes to your spiritual work, that is an essential part that without it, you can't even start talking about Mesilat Yesharim. These are the levels that a person needs to have to reach a plateau where you can start working on the steps of the Mesilat Yesharim. So Shlemut Halev Yiraitz Ishtiyeh Avodah Lefanav Yitbarach Betoar HaKavana. That when you do Avodat Hashem, your intention should be pure. It says, in other words, Dehainu letachlit avodato bilvad velo leshum pniya acheret. That you're doing what you're doing for Avodat Hashem for the sake of doing it, not without any other intent. It is so difficult to do. A person needs to be at such a high level of concentration to actually let go of everything. It's like most people think that meditation is to be able to concentrate on something and to let go, and no, is to be aware, to have such self-control to actually let go. You are aware of everything around you, but you don't let it bother you by choice. That's, for example, meditation. Kavanat Halev, what we're talking about here about that level of avodah, is, for example, I'm learning Gemara. Why am I learning Gemara? Because I'm learning Gemara. How about you need to learn so in order to finish? That's already down. It's not at that level. To do things with no ulterior motives because I wanted to do so, you need a tremendous, tremendous self-control that unfortunately nobody will teach you how to do so, because today in our life is everything about having no control. When a person reaches such level of control, he actually can let go. When you don't need to take care of your environment, not to control your environment to such an extent that everything has to be evolved around you. When you're a baby, babies are completely selfish creatures, because otherwise they won't live. They need this for the survival. So when a person is very self-centered, he's immature, he's babyish. When a person is extremely controlling, he's immature. Maturity comes with understanding. I'll give you an example. We think that today it's all about to become individual and individualism and so on and so on and so forth. And everybody wants to do about me and me. Whatever it is, we all say about me, I need to develop, I need to this, I need to do this, I need to grow. So for whatever reason, people still feel very not individual. People, in order to feel individual, do all these kind of crazy things. So something is wrong with the definition of how do I come to self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment is understanding that I define myself by how I define myself into, I'm just a part of this great thing that's called humanity. The person is being defined by how he falls into this thing that's called humanity. So if you don't see yourself integrating in society and understanding, for example, in order to have a true understanding between a husband and wife, one needs to understand how does the other side feels. How does the husband feel when he's the wife? And how would the wife feel on her part when you are trying to understand her? How would you try to understand her if you never tried to sit down and ask her, say, excuse me, how do you exactly feel? What is the exactly, how do you see things? Because men and women see things differently. And we don't see things the same. I'm not saying better or worse. We see things different. So the definition of the I of myself is only when I see myself as a part of this great thing. That's why to be a Jew, you need to be a part of a society, because one of the things that defines you as a Jew is to be a part of a community. It's very difficult to become a Jew when you live on a mountain like a hermit by yourself. So some bright light would say, well, Avraham Avinu did that. Avraham Avinu came to such realization of God that you will never be able to. He achieved it at 3 years old. You at 60 still fighting with you're fighting windmills, but you're not actually doing it. Why? Because you are all about control. I need to control my environment. I need to control everything. I'm scheming and dealing all day long, and I'm making myself so busy that I don't have actually time for pure Avodat Hashem. Because I'm very insecure. So when I do it like this, my Avodat Hashem, my spiritual work, is being impaired because I don't have time to do it. And I'm busying myself with everything else besides what I need to concentrate. It's like a person that goes to work so he can continue learning, but he gets so involved with work that he actually stops learning altogether. Or he goes to school and he stops learning altogether, and he forgot, why did you start this all to begin with? So your learning is being impaired to the point it doesn't exist. So is Avodat Hashem. Eventually you get so caught up with your motives and what do I get out of it. And that's the thing that we always do. What do I get out of this? What do I get out of this? What do I get out of this? And this understanding of caring should be so second nature to us that even the Torah says this, right? When it comes about taking care of yourself, nobody has second thoughts. When it comes to taking care of myself, I'm the first one to jump. I'm very active and so on and so on. I need to take care of myself. But when it comes to take care of others, I don't have time. The time of death without this, I'm too busy. You should care about others as much as you could care about yourself. The Torah tells us that. The Torah knows exactly how we are. And therefore, when I'm coming to do Avodat Hashem, I need to do it for the sake of Avodat Hashem. That's it. Why am I putting tefillin? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu told me to put tefillin. Why can I touch muktzeh? Because Chachamim told me by the koach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu given to them that I cannot touch muktzeh. That's it. It's not a problem. Not that I'm not trying to understand the reasons why. That's a big difference. It's not that I'm doing things like a robot. On the contrary, by learning, I learn really how great things are. The more I understand, the more or the less I need to control, because I understand. If you learn because you need to learn, not because you need to finish a masechta, not because you need to impress somebody, not because you need to put it on your resume for a shidduch, not because you want to be a rabbi, not because you want to do this, why you want to learn? Because I want to learn. That's it. Finished. If you reach this level, you do something without an ulterior motive, now we can start talking about your Avodat Hashem. You haven't reached the level. This is a prerequisite. Your Avodat Hashem will be impaired. If you want to reach to the gate of Kedusha, at the end of the Sefer, the gate of holiness, where you get Ruach HaKodesh, where you actually reach a level of enlightenment, and you do so just for the sake of that, you'll never reach it. You'll be a charlatan. You'll be a guru, one of those, Maharishis in India, or Mekubalim who will write you notes. So this is not Avodat Hashem. This is Avodat yourself. That's Avodat Zarah. It's a very hard level to do so. That's why most people don't even reach and don't go anywhere in Avodat Hashem, because Shlemut Halev, in other words, your dedication. And when a person, and that applies to all the fields in our life. When you get married, did you get married b'toch shlemut halev, because there was no other, not because her father was rich, not because she's going to become a doctor, not because she's pretty, not because she's this, not because she's that, not because. Do you have any other mitzvah in your life? Do you have anything in your life that did not involve your own self, that you did with no ulterior motives? That you're not way and say, 1 second, let me see. Ooh, that's a big mitzvah, I'll do that. Ooh, that's a bigger mitzvah, I'll do that. No, I won't do this. I will get more I will get more benefit from helping him because he is rich, but not helping him because he's not. I would say, ooh, you said wonderful Dvar Torah because he can write me a nice check, and this one cannot, so it's very nice, but that's what the Rambam warned us. Look at what was said, not who said it. We get so caught up with who said rather than the what said. And how does it implement us? We get very amazed by people who were able to quote and precise quotations. And it's like, page so-and-so, verse this, he said this, and so on and so forth. But this is the illness of our generation. Why? Because if you, for example, want to write a thesis in psychology, let's say you want to write a thesis. It's ridiculous the way theses are today. That's why the level of psychology today, every psychologist needs a psychiatrist. Why? Because you're not doing anything new. You will all have to, if you want to write your thesis in psychology, you will have to base your research on something that was already did. Somebody did this, somebody asked it, somebody did. You can't come up with your own formula, with your own idea, and just go along with it. It's ridiculous, the level of work that we show today, and it's not only psychology and history and anything like this. You can't come up with your new theory and create a new test and then run with it. Because, when did you come up with this? Well, who cares? It's a wonderful thing. Look, it works. It's a tremendous thing. For example, I'll give you an example. Let's say a lot of kids fail in school. They fail. They don't go through the system, they fail. So most researchers would look at who? At the students. They don't this, this service, that service, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. I'm saying, well, loser kids are only the tip of the iceberg, because loser kids usually have loser principals, teachers, but the teachers are motivated by a loser principle. If you have a successful, visionary principal that does not suspend, does not punish his students, he's a visionary. He sees, he motivates them. You're always going to have people who fail, but you're going to have a tremendous reduction in the failure of students if you're going to have a true leader as a principal. Yet if you try to do so, they would say, well, nobody ever did this. You can measure it. So yes, I can. If you have a poor principal, you look at the numbers are there. It will be impossible for you to make such a thesis. I can tell you this for sure. I know for a fact. And the same thing here. If I'll come up with a great idea, it's a new idea. If I'm not going to find somebody who already said it before, it won't be a good idea, as good as the idea would be. Why? Because I'm concentrated on the who said rather than the what said. I cannot see things in a complete abstract. And I'll show you where this is coming from. This is coming from the second debate when we talks about Elokei masecha lo ta'aseh lecha. You should not make yourself a mask or a shape of God. Because any shape, any physical thing that you're going to put on the Word of God is going to downgrade the greatness of it. That's why you would never find, for example, a description of Moshe Rabbeinu in the Torah. I could have put like a little paragraph. Well, Moshe Rabbeinu was, 5'10", 180 pounds, body mass of 28, and so on and so forth. He could run the 40 dash at 4.3. Statistics, give me some background. He had long hair, he had short hair, he had this guy, wear glasses, Doesn't have it. Why? Because if I'm going to build an image of what Moshe Rabbeinu looked like, I'm not going to pay attention to what he said. I'm going to pay attention to how he looked. Shlemut alev. In other words, you need to, in order to complete your avodat Hashem, you need to remove yourself from anything physical. Shalem, complete. And shlemut only comes on a non-physical, because the physical is never completed, always missing, always lacking, always needed more, and so on and so forth. And it says, and you should not, שיהיה ליבו שלם בעבודה. That your heart should be complete in avodat Hashem, and you should not do the avodat Hashem as an intellectual thing, or something that people would appreciate you. So, woo, is it tzaddik, and so on and so forth. Ela שיהיה ליבו נתון לזה. Your heart should be dedicated to do avodat Hashem, complete, regardless of what people say to you, think of you, and so on and so forth. Again, somebody will come to you and will say to you, well, I didn't know you wear a black hat on Shabbat. Or why do you wear this kind of hat? Why do you wear a gray hat, not a black hat? Well, a hat does not say much about a person who wears it. But yet, it does say a lot about a person who measures people by what they dressed. Have a great day.